Welcome to another episode of Halloran's Garage. This is Sean and my brother Kevin here, and we have a guest today, Dan Whiteman, is going to join us today, and our subject today will be high-performance driving events, or HPDEs, or driver education, or whatever you might want to call it, and
or track days.
track days. Yep, yep. And we have for people that haven't done this before, you do run your own car on the track, and you end up doing, this in road racing situations. You're on road courses and things like that, so it is a lot of fun to do if you've never done it before. Dan here has done it since '88. And you started instructing somewhere around 98 or 99, and
started instructing in 93.
93, excuse me.
And then started instructing with Porsche in 99.
99, yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun to get involved with. Some people are a little intimidated by getting into something like this when you're going this fast, but it is a nice controlled environment to be involved in. And, if you have that kind of mindset that you'd like to do something like this, it is, again, a tremendous amount of fun. You've done it probably longer than any of us. I started doing it in '99, and you were 11 years ahead of me on that. You've been involved in different cars. You've run Mustangs and Alphas and
Mustangs, Alphas, Volkswagens, and Mazdas, BMWs, and
Obviously Porsches.
and Porsches.
yeah.
And a few others have been along the way that weren't necessarily mine, but I talked somebody into let me have the keys, which
Before
they weren't aware of what they were doing.
Yeah.
But along what you're saying too, the DEs, I guess we're going to talk about today are ones where we bring our own cars.
Right.
For those that are interested, there are events where you can go and rent a car and do the track and get their instruction.
Right.
We're just going to talk about today, I guess, bringing our own cars because we enjoy our own so much and we want to play with them.
Yeah. In these things, some people think, well, that's a racing situation. You're not racing on these. You are running at racing speeds. You can easily exceed 100 miles an hour. There will be slow turns, fast turns, uphills, downhills. You can get into a lot of that. You are involved with everybody else on the track, and generally they're broken down into groups. They have the beginner group. It could be a green group or a group or whatever, and then they work it all the way to more advanced and more people that have done it a lot more. So, but there's a lot of emphasis on finding the line, finding your breaking points. Obviously picking out corner workers and things like that as you're trying to negotiate. You're trying to learn all this and take it all in, and it is a lot to take in. But as you do it, you lose some of the jitters that you potentially have in doing this. Again, you get to learn to work with traffic at high speed, allowing passing or overtaking people. You end up having also in these things classrooms where they discuss the line and flags and
Well, and that's all part of a driver's meeting.
Yes,
again,
correct.
That
They're often on through the day, those meetings, and they're teaching you how to be a better driver, how to be a safer driver out on the track.
right.
And remember, some of these schools are 1 day, some of them are 2 days, some might be 3 days. Some people might back-to-back events at the same track where you might get 3 or 4 days, but they're all learning experiences. So Sean mentioned the green group, the A group, whatever club deems it as the entry level. For those of you who haven't done it, remember you're on track with the people with the same level of experience. So they're probably not going to all be going 150 miles an hour on their first day.
But hopefully the instructors have more experience.
The instructors will,
Right.
as he mentions, there will be an instructor, almost always an instructor in the passenger seat while you're on course. Of course, you have classroom with a different instructor, but on course you will have an instructor in the passenger seat. And they'll be helping you, guiding you, where proper place to be on the track, when to start braking, and, help you learn, help you put the classroom discussions into play on the track.
Now, when you're there, I haven't done one of these myself. I've done different events where we've done like
Not
parade
hard
laps
course,
and hot laps and what have you.
Yeah.
But we're usually out as a group, like 5 or 6 cars in a group, and we're following an instructor. But like after your driver's meeting, they do check your car.
Usually prior to the driver's
Yeah,
meeting.
that'll be
Well,
the
at
first
some
thing
point.
before the day starts. All cars go through a basic, we'll call it a basic tech, safety tech,
Yeah.
On scene.
Right.
And they'll check, look at your brake pads, they'll look at your steering, your battery, brake fluids, those types of things. Most all clubs also have forms that you fill out showing where it had a more in-depth safety inspection prior to you bringing it.
Right.
That way they feel everybody should have a car that meets the minimum safety specs when you get there.
Now, what safety equipment do you normally have? I know you have to have your Snell approved helmet.
Yes, Snow approved a helmet, and now it is SA 2025 or 2020 is the most recent one, I guess, or is it 15 still? It'll be usually 10 years, depending on the group.
We'll just say it for everybody out there. 10 years, generally 2 Snell ratings is what it's going to take to get on track. Some clubs, as the new ratings come out, new helmets come out, there might be a little swing or sway in that, but just say 2 Snell ratings is what you're going to have. So back to your question on safety equipment. For the new guy, about the only piece you have to have is a good Snell rated helmet. Your car already has the seat belts, will tell you how to cinch them up, how to place your seat so you have full control, get rid of loose items, floor mats, phones in the cup holders, get all that stuff out before you go on
Nothing
track.
rolling around inside.
Nothing rolling around inside the passenger compartments, the trunks, or anything else.
Especially in the driver's area.
Yeah. And it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah, these groups do emphasize safety. Generally, when you go out on the course for the first time, the instructor will help you point out where all the corner workers are, and the corner workers are your friends. They can tell you, they can alert you of a problem, potentially either fluids or an incident where somebody has actually gone off the track. So you need to be aware where those guys are at. It's excuse me. They have all the corner stations will have fire extinguishers and things like that, and the guys are well trained to deal with any kind of issues that could come up. And a lot of the things you're dealing with the car, if you have if you're trying to prepare the car to get there, of course we're talking about a safety meeting and all, or safety check there at the beginning. You'll want to go through the car before you even leave. Oil changes are, make sure the oil's topped up or a little bit above. Tire pressures and things like that, brake pads, wheel bearings, any of the fluids, because a lot of the stuff will get really hot on the track during just one session.
Yeah, and these items, brake pads, brake fluids, getting hot, all changes as you progress up through your run groups when you get into faster groups. Now, you're not going to progress up through in one weekend.
No.
One weekend you're going to be an entry-level group, maybe 2, 3, 4 weekends you'll be an entry-level. Then you'll move up. As your skills get higher, then your some of the things your car needs and maintenance and brake pads, fluids, and some of that will...
Well, and you're as far as like brake fluids are concerned, you don't want to have just your standard everyday .3 brake fluid. I mean, you want to have something that's high temp brake fluid. Not, I mean, the only way you really get away with it, like a .5 silicone fluid, is if it's really old vintage car of some sort. But most of your stuff's going to be a .4.
Most everybody runs a good .4, and everybody has their own thought on which one is the best.
Right. But you want like a really high boiling point.
Yeah, and all of them, for those of you who don't know, if you go looking at brake fluids, whether you're looking at, what are all the brands? 3 or 4 brands, Motul,
there's
or
ATE,
Castrol, some of those.
and there's just a bunch of different
They
ones
will
out
all tell you boiling points, temperature ratings on them. So find the one that you like, that works well with your car, and that's able to handle the temps.
Yeah.
So that's
Brake
like I say,
pads the
that's
same
gonna be-
way. You certainly don't want the cheapest pads when you go out there, because they'll show themselves out there pretty quick. And
When you want good rotors as well, you want a good high carbon rotor if you can. I mean, if your first time out, you may not.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. First time out, have good brake fluid. And when I say good pads, I don't mean we have to have a high race
Racing
pad. We just need to have plenty of pad in our brakes to go for our first event.
yes,
Right.
So we have good fresh brake fluid, decent pads that have plenty of wear left in them, and make sure your fluids, your water, your oil's up and all that, and oil
Radiator's
fresh
clear.
would be good.
Radiators clear of debris and things like that.
Yeah, those are the basics to get you out there.
Yeah.
And then you can get out there and run, and you'll feel what the car's like, and feel if you like it.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
These are all safety events, really.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
for us, we know. For others that may not haven't done it, but the skills that you'll learn there are skills you're going to bring back to the public road.
Oh yeah.
And so all of a sudden you're going to be 70 mile an hour on the interstate. It's no big deal. You're comfortable with those speeds because you've been going faster on different racetracks, and you'll learn to be in proximity to other cars at interstate speeds or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're not nervous about that.
Yeah,
So-
you're a lot more aware of everything around you, the other cars, and what they might do in front of you. A lot of these things that you learn on the track, you can transfer it, like Dan's saying, right
Absolutely.
back to driving on the street. Tire carcass on the interstate, you usually can dodge around something like that or be able to deal with it quickly. And it really does help a lot in that situation as well. So,
Of course, I mean, I'm hoping that a lot of people would at least, prior to going to like a track day event of any sort, or DE, HPDE, that they might do an autocross or two first. That they
Great.
understand their car somewhat first, and then progress to that. I've said this before, but we had somebody in one of our Porsche Club drives that just back road drive, that he was telling my wife at lunch. He said, I want to go do a HPDE with my Porsche. Well, have you ever done any drives like this? No. Have you ever done an autocross? No. And said, maybe I ought to go do that first, and then because you need to understand what your car does.
work your way up.
Work your way up, and so that you are more comfortable with what's going to happen. Because like an autocross, everything's happening quickly, even though you're not going that fast. It gives you more of a feel for what your car is going to do and what you can do.
Yeah, you'll be able to read the car, and the
Right.
things are going to be similar on the track.
Yeah,
Speeds
just-
will be a little higher, but
The speeds will be a lot higher, but for the most part.
the autocross. Some of the clubs now, too, HPDE clubs, are mandating sort of a what do we want to call an entry level event prior to
Yeah.
coming to an
could
HPDE event.
involve a skid pad and
Yeah,
things like
so
that.
they're-
Maybe some
they're-
braking maneuvers and some lead follow things, and where they're actually giving you a little more one-on-one instruction at probably a lower speed. And they're very helpful. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of clubs are starting to do that now. So if you don't have the autocross, they'll put you in this entry level event, and then after you do that, then you can go to an HPDE event. Of course, you'll still be at the
And the
entry level, green
whatever that
level.
is,
Yeah, we'll
whatever
call it that.
is.
Yeah, you'll still be there.
Yeah.
But they're great. They're stepping us up into it so that we are comfortable. Because you just throw somebody out there at 100 and some miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
It'd be very intimidating.
Well, and a lot of these people maybe they've never gone over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, along that line, you get. I was instructing. It was at Summit Point Raceway, but a gentleman came and it's been years ago, and it was I believe it was a new C5 Corvette convertible. And at that time, the group I was with there, they had us being instructors, drive the student's car first lap or two, show the students sort of where on the track, show them where the flag stations are and everything, So I'm sitting there driving this guy's vet. We have top down, one hand, and I'm showing him flag stations, showing him different things and like this. And we're talking, and I said, you got any questions? He's just like, you only got one hand on the wheel. And I'm like, we're warming up, guys. We haven't got to speed yet. And so that's sort of where we started our day. We weren't even doing interstate speeds.
Yeah.
But we were on the racetrack.
Yep.
And he was just so caught up in it.
Yeah.
And we never got probably over 100 miles an hour
Yeah.
in the whole day, the whole event.
Right.
But he came, he wanted to do it. It was sort of a bucket list item for this older gentleman with his new retiree vet, I think it was. And
He wanted to try something new, and
he
check
wanted
the
to
car
try
out,
it. And we went and did it. And he had a ball. We weren't the fastest, but
Do you know if he ever came back?
I don't know. I'd sort of, if I had to guess, probably not.
Okay.
But not that he didn't have fun.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was just
right.
more than he was
he
accustomed to.
He didn't leave halfway through.
No.
Yeah.
He came, stayed, and he enjoyed it. He commented a number of times, man, this was great.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he
You
was.
didn't scare him to death then.
No, I handed him his own car back and didn't put him in my car. So. But yeah, that was. There are some people that come that aren't just cut out for it. Let's say.
Right.
And
Well, that's just it. Not everybody can go quickly or fast on a track, and that's.
Well, again, it goes back to doing an autocross or doing, something like that, to where you are driving at a higher level, and it's just a great thing to do before you do a track event. Isn't required, as Dan's saying, is not required to do that, but it's not a bad idea,
Right,
particularly if you're
right.
trying to learn about your car and learn where its limits are and things like that.
Right.
You can find a lot of things out about it in an autocross, but you can also find it out in a track too. So
you find them out about the car and yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, because you're ultimately a package when you're out there.
Yeah. Well.
You're interacting together. You've got to figure out how to make the car do what you want, and it's going to let you know if it can do it or not. And
Right. You'll find the shortcomings, whether it's pushing through a turn potentially, or whether you've got a brake issue or anything like that. A lot of times you'll find it, and a lot of times you're in a good controlled environment that it's not going to be you're not going to have an issue. Go to these events and learn. I mean, just go have fun at
Go
it.
watch one, yeah.
But gather up everything that people are telling you, or whatever. Take all the information you can soak up. Read the books. Do all kinds of things to prepare yourself to at what you're doing. And if you enjoy it, certainly pursue it even further. Just keep doing it. Seat time is everything, and so.
And some clubs will allow the drivers to take a passenger, particularly probably instructor level.
Right. Preferably.
Take a passenger. But sometimes for somebody that's not sure, uncertain, maybe timid about it, you could go ride with somebody on the track in their car, just ride along and say, "Is this something we can do or not?" It's another way to.
And I'm sure that some of the people that you instruct actually will ride with you all in your cars.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of them love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really love that.
And a lot of the clubs,
Hopefully, they learn a lot when they're watching what you're doing.
they're learning a lot, whether it's the right thing or not. But yeah, and a lot of times the clubs will try to match up the instructor to the student having similar cars, so they understand. So, if I was out in the Porsche, I'd probably get a Porsche student, or if out in the Mustang, get a Mustang student. Same with Sean gets probably Corvette students a lot. Right. And that helps. We can then ride back and forth in each other's cars and show, demonstrate.
Well, and you get to know these people because you're spending however many hours in the car over a weekend with them. You get to know them pretty well, and a lot of times you'll get finished being on the track, and you end up having some discussions. Let's work on this. Let's work on this, and let's break just a little later here, or let's go a little wider into this turn, and take a later apex or something like that. You're trying to find that little thing that they get really comfortable with, and but they're learning stuff the whole time, and the fun they're having, you can see it in a lot of them how much fun they're having, and you want them to get out of the car and just be, oh my god, that was just amazing, so it's just a lot of fun.
I mean, now, like, my first time on the track was back in 1990. I went and did Skip Barber driving school, and of course they were all in essentially Formula Fords. Of course, they weren't they were much heavier built than what was a competitive car then.
Yeah.
But, but you learned a lot. Now, of course, when I was there, it was a 3-day course. And the first 2.5 days, it was pouring down the rain.
And you're in Mid-Ohio.
And I'm at Mid-Ohio, yeah.
You're learning.
You are definitely learning.
Second day we were there, they actually had tornado warnings. They told us if tornado comes, don't get out of the car. Stay buckled in.
Yeah.
And if unless you're close to like the tunnel, then get out and run into the middle of the tunnel and lay down.
Right.
But they said you're probably safer in the car than getting out of it at that point
Yes.
if you see the tornado coming at you. So,
Yeah.
but we actually had a guy that pretty much destroyed 3 cars that week because he just wasn't paying attention,
Yeah.
And he actually ran into another car and tore up both of those cars.
Oh, gosh.
So I
That
mean,
can get costly.
Yeah. And I guess,
but here
That is
again,
the reality.
he didn't pay attention in the class.
yeah.
Obviously, because otherwise he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So
Well, people don't pay attention in class, or they get red mist or whatever. They just like, oh, I can go faster, I can go faster, and I can go faster. Then they outrun their skills.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And these things happen. And I guess for anybody going to DE, something to think about is it can happen.
yeah.
None of us have ever been in an accident on the course.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do that.
we'll all do that. Yeah, none of us have been in an accident, but if you're going out there thinking that you're going to get recruited to Formula One or something to that sort, yeah, you can overdrive and have accidents and maybe hit another car, hit a tire wall, or something even worse.
Yeah.
But
You can have a mechanical like I had a few years ago there, where
You
I went
can
off
have-
at turn 1 at VIR because I lost a bleed screw in the front caliper, and that gets exciting.
yeah, and that does happen. There can be some mechanicals. Generally, why we do all the inspections up front that catches most of that. But
Or you can
nothing's perfect.
or you can have a differential or something. Bearings in the differential or something go bad. Any number of things.
Any number of things, we've seen people blow up engines or transmissions or,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
or a tire cut a tire down. Or,
Absolutely.
You would hope the blowing up of engines would be down to a minimum, but you would guess more than likely that happens not so much because they over revved it, but they didn't have enough oil in it.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a
Myriad of things.
there's a whole
there,
lot of
so-
things that can be there, but
Don't generally see a lot of that though. You'll see a little bit of it here and there, but most
usually not
cars
much
do.
carnage.
Yeah, most cars do really well out there, and it really they do for what you're putting them through, they do really well. I think.
Well,
And,
and who was it? I forget which club it was. They always start off. You know what your trophy is
yeah,
for the weekend?
yeah.
Hopefully that you made it out. without-
Once you get to take your car home.
Yeah,
Your trophy is
that's-
taking your
taking
car
your car
home.
home.
Hopefully
So that's an important
Hopefully
trophy.
the weekend was no incidents is what I was starting to say.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of the clubs will say your trophy for this weekend is to take your car home, which is a good point.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to win anything else.
No.
So just drive.
It's not a race.
That's right.
Not a race.
Just drive and have fun and bring it back.
It's a place to go safely fast.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Very safe. Very
enjoy
safe.
yourself. Learn your own skills and your car skills. I mean the abilities. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, like you say, hopefully you come home with your car in one piece, and might need a little bit of wear and tear replaced. I mean tires and brakes and so on and so
There's
forth.
going to be wear. There's going to be accelerated wear.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that said he was going to do at the Porsche event that wanted to take his car to a track day event, I sent him to an autocross, and he's like, "Am I going to wear my tires out?" And I'm like, "You're worried about wearing your tires out at an autocross, and you want to go to a track day?"
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right.
But that's good. They're doing it so that they understand.
Yeah,
You know.
but he did go do autocross with local guys, and I think he enjoyed it. So, but I don't know if he ever
hard
went.
not to.
I don't know if I haven't talked to him to see if he ever went to a track day or not. But I'll hope to talk to him here before too long and ask him.
So how do you get ready for this? How do you sign up for these events? Who do you go to look for? I mean, a lot of these you can get in with Porsche Club. Dan's a member of, or SCCA has track nights, but there's like track days, and there's Corvette has their group, and BMW has a group, and Audi.
Mazda.
Yeah, I mean, my Audi guys try to get me to come do stuff all
Yeah.
the time with them.
Yeah,
No.
so if you want to find an event anywhere in the country, or probably even in other countries as well, it's not too hard to come up with an event to go to. Look at if you got a specific mark, if you're a club member of BMW or Audi or Porsche or Corvette or whatever. Find out if they have a DE event. Go to Mid Ohio, go to Summit Point, go to Road Atlanta. These are great tracks to run on. A lot of fun, and go prepared. Have your helmet ready. Do your car check, and make sure you've got a decent night's sleep the night before, and go willing to learn. I mean, just go. God, just go have fun. We have a blast doing it.
Oh yeah, I think sort of Sean going with there. Join your club, probably. Porsche club, Audi club,
Corvette,
Volkswagen,
whoever.
whatever it is. Join the club. You'll get to know the people. If you go with them with your club to the track, which is probably what I would recommend is first time. You go with people you know. You're going to see all their rules, all their forums, all their stuff. You work through all that and go that way. Start that way. Ease into it.
Yes, absolutely.
After time, for some of you that have done enough events or whatever like that, you could go online to Motorsports Reg, and look there, and it'll list, as far as I know,
Events,
about every event in the country.
Well, I mean, I get stuff from Motorsports Reg and what have you emailed to me. What events are close to me?
Yeah.
Right.
Whether
like 300 miles away, or
whether
something.
it's whether it's a DE or it's a autocross or a rally or whatever, I get stuff from them all the time.
Sure.
And it'll be within. You can tell it how many miles out you want to be from you.
How many miles out, or which club do you want to look at?
that's
There's
right,
different ways you can separate it.
Have
to,
a really nice list of things you can get involved with, and so usually, again, a lot of these are great groups. Dan and I've been able to do a lot with these guys, whether it's Porsche or BMW or Audi or whoever. It's just been they've got such a good group, and most of them are well done. They usually well organized and things like that, and it just makes for that experience to be there.
These clubs have been doing them for years.
yeah.
So that they have a pretty down pat system.
Yeah.
How to get everybody registered, how to get all the paperwork to everybody, how to get them through tech, and get it all done. So.
Make sure they all sign the waivers.
Sign all the waivers, yeah. And you can bring your family, your children, and stuff too. Speaking of waivers, because they'll have to sign some too to be on grounds, not to be on the track. But it's good to bring them. Let them and
proximity.
Get them involved. Yeah.
They go to different places on alongside some of the tracks and watch Dad or whoever go by, and have some fun with that. And
Well, I mean, I've got the one Porsche club. I mean, it's father and son. One of the sons comes. I mean, he's and does stuff with us. So, that becomes a family affair kind of thing. There.
oh yeah, I used to take my kids. They went to their various tracks, and
Yeah.
Mom would take a blanket, and they'd sit out along the track somewhere and have basically a picnic or whatever. Well, I played all day.
Yeah.
Well,
Then you got to hang out with them all day. When you're off the track, you're able to hang out with them. You can
Have
do
lunch
your little
and-
checks on the
Yeah,
car, and then
yeah.
get to hanging out with them. It just adds to that much more fun and involvement. And as for going to the track, if you go to VIR, or if you go to Mid Ohio or whatever, there's all these different places you can go to after the event. You can go out to dinner or whatever if you want. You can get involved with that, which is a lot of fun. One of the things that we like to do after an event, we'll go to a portion of the course. We'll hop in one of the vehicles, go to a portion of the course, and we'll talk about the corner. And we like doing that. That's been a lot of fun.
we've done that for years.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of fun to, we might even watch one of the groups. We might have finished before one of the other groups is out there, and so we watch some of the people out there running and what they're doing, and maybe even catch some of their lap times. And it's you just get more immersed in the event. And
We're not allowed to lap time.
Yeah. We never do that. So
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I had one friend that's in the Porsche club that he actually lives in Hawaii, but he comes here all the time and does stuff. And you all were doing an event. I can't remember which track you were at, but his club was doing something the same time on the same track. And I guess you all were. I guess they rotated you back and forth or something as to who ran and who didn't or something. I don't know. but he said he was there, and I said, well, my brother and friends were there, so you know, you all never got to meet each other, but
Yeah, I think that was it.
Well, some of the tracks, have, what is it, multiple facilities. Some at points, where you can run Jefferson or Shenandoah. And if you go to VIR, there's North Course, South Course, Patriot Course, all the course, Grand Course,
yeah.
Depending how you mix them up.
Right.
But those are all fun things.
yeah, I mean, a lot of the tracks do have. I mean, Mid Ohio doesn't, but those two tracks, and then even like the Corvette Museum track, it's got
multiple configurations.
Yeah, they can split
it's got
it up.
a north and a south to it, and I mean, there's tracks that have split, events that go on. Or
Sure,
split
sure.
uses of the track at the same
But
time.
yeah, the facility, yeah. You were talking too about prepping. Of course, we talked about the cars, the brakes, the fluids, and all that. But for us too, because again, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, there's not going to be a restaurant on site.
No.
So, for most of us, we need to pack up water bottles, Gatorade bottles,
absolutely.
pop bottles,
Absolutely.
have something there to refresh. Water,
Keep the
things like
fluids
that
moving.
would be best. But again, you might not be able to get to food.
Yeah.
Some places don't have, so I pack up pepperoni rolls or chips or just some lunch meats and apples.
At times we've taken a little small grill and
Yeah.
dogs and burgers and things like that, which is great. And,
Yeah, at the end of the evening, you can
And
grill.
for some of the people that aren't from West Virginia, pepperoni roll is kind of
It's a
West Virginia
staple.
thing. It's a staple for West Virginia. So if you haven't had one, I'm sorry.
Find us in the pits. We'll share a pepperoni roll with you. Yeah. But you do need to, because if you get there and you don't have this and they don't have a facility on site, all of a sudden you're going to be hungry, you're going to be thirsty, you'll be dehydrated, and you're not going to be on your game.
You need to have everything up.
Yeah, so we got to have the car prepped. We got to have ourselves prepped. So again, if it's 2 or 3 day event, you may be running to the grocery store in the evening to get more
Things for the
water,
next day.
fluids, or snacks or something. But you got to have it.
Yeah.
Most of the restaurants most of the tracks will have something at lunch, but that might not be open any time besides
just a few
12
hours
to
around
1 or
lunch,
whatever. Yeah. So
some of them do
be
breakfast, some
prepared-
of them
be
do lunch
prepared.
and breakfast, and it just depends on the track really. I think Summit does breakfast and lunch, and then
Yeah, they have their own what we call cafeteria on site.
right.
So does VIR, but Watkins Glen doesn't have anything.
Right,
so
right. We had
you got to have
stop
your
at-
own when you go there.
I had to stop at Dunkin' Donuts there at Watkins Glen.
We have done that. We have done that.
Get a sandwich.
Get your sandwich and coffee and
Well, I mean, when we went to like Vets and Vets, now when we do that Vets and Vets event, the track actually feeds us at lunchtime. I mean, they bring burgers and hot dogs and chips and cookies and drinks and all,
Yeah.
and everybody gets to sit down and sit there and talk about what went on during the day and but it's not again, it's not a true DE or track event, track day event. It's more of a
It's
higher speed.
Yeah, it's
parade
kind of the
lap.
same.
Yeah.
Kind of the same.
It's similar, but you're not. You never pass anybody.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
But here again, people that don't follow directions, you can either be going 60 miles an hour, you can be going over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's because you aren't listening and not paying attention to the instructor that's in front of you. So
Right.
Right.
And again, get back to listen to your instructor, listen to in your classroom,
Exactly.
listen to watch other people, watch things that they do that you definitely don't want to do, and
you can learn from just watching other cars. Like you said,
Absolutely.
we were talking about watching other run groups ourselves, going out to parts of the track. I encourage anybody participating in an event. Just go watch a corner. You have trouble with this corner, go watch it. What's everybody doing? Are they doing the same thing you are, or are the instructors doing something different? You look to see what the options are.
yeah.
And
Well, another thing that happens at tracks, obviously, the weather can change. You can be running in the rain. Go out and run in the rain. Drive offline. Figure out different ways to get around a turn or whatever. It really, in the rain, as Kevin pointed out, his driver's school, he was 2.5 days in his driver's school in the rain.
Yep.
But the amount of what you learn out of that, it's just immense.
Well, that last half a day, I never found the cornering limit of the car.
Yeah.
Because I was so used to driving in the wet, I kept going into the like turn 1 there at Mid Ohio harder and harder, and I never found the limit of the car. Every time I went under the bridge, it was like, okay, I can go a little faster this time. Nope, that's not it. I'll do it a little faster. Nope, that's not it.
Yeah. Well, and that happens in a DE, obviously, too.
Yeah.
So you,
Right.
you figure out certain things, your entry or your exit, and to me, that's one of the fun things that tests my brain all the time. It makes me think about these things and entering and exiting turns and braking, and setting up for it, and things like that. It's just so much to take in. It just makes it a real challenge for me. And
there is a lot to take in. I guess it's something everybody needs to know. At the end of the day, you are going to be whipped. You are going to be tired. And it has nothing to do with your legs and your arms being tired. It's your brain is tired. You are mentally exhausted.
Well, I mean,
you're focused so hard.
Generally in your sessions, how long are you out there each session?
20, 25 minutes usually.
Okay, and that's depending upon the track, that can be anywhere from 10 to 20 laps.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe more than that. I mean, but most tracks are pretty long. Most of the road courses are pretty long.
Yeah. So
usually at least 2 miles, and like Summit is 2, and some of these other ones. But VIR, the Grand courses, what 4
4.2
or 2 or 4.1 or something like that. And but it really, to do these things, to me, it's always exciting. It is effort to get ready to go and all that. But once you get there, you go, oh my God, this is just, this is heaven. So I'd love to do this.
You're there with a couple hundred other people probably running their cars. And they're not going to be 200 on the track at the same time.
No.
But everybody's there to do the same thing, learn the same thing, have fun, And a lot of times, like Sean and I go together, whatever, we're chasing each other around just for the fun.
Oh gosh, it is.
And we've always met other people at events and, chase each other around and just laugh about what we did. And makes a good evening.
A little ribbing of each other.
Oh, yeah.
We never do that.
Yeah. We always talk about how the vets need to catch up, but we, but anyway, that's what we do. We go and you enjoy and you have fun. And
I'll make sure I had a picture there of the vet and the Mustang.
Yeah, but we do that. We rib each other, there are some tracks, Porsches will be fast, some vets will be fast, some Mustangs or whatever else is out there. And it's really hard to say which car is better at a DE event because there's so much different skill level there.
Yes.
Well, but like in your case, you have the Mustang and you've had the Volkswagen with the GTI, and then you have the old 911.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, of course, the Mustang and the Volkswagen have all the nannies and stuff that,
They do.
You've got at least, you might be able to turn everything off, but maybe the ABS. The old 911 doesn't have any of that. Not to mention it's got that engine way back there in the back.
You can turn the headlights off.
I turn the headlights off. Yeah, that's it doesn't have any nannies. It doesn't even have power steering or anything else.
Yeah.
But it does have good feel.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's things that you can do in the Porsche or can't do in the Porsche that you might be able to get away with in the other two cars.
Yeah.
Because of that. I mean, you have to understand you're driving an all analog car compared to something that's got computer aids.
And those computer aids is something you need to be aware of in your car when you go, because some of them will have proximity sensors, and all of a sudden they'll hit the brakes on you when you're on the track.
Yeah.
And this has turned out to be a problem at some clubs, some events. And so you really need to know your car, your computer, and how to turn some of those off
If you can.
for the track events, because they may just cause you to have a spin or something.
Well, I borrowed a friend of mine's Mustang at one of the events and ran it at the Shenandoah. And you enter that bowl and it kicks you around on the banking like that. And I guess the computer was assuming it was probably getting ready to roll over, shoved the fuel down on it, and I had a BMW just about collect me in there. It was exciting. I kept hitting the gas pedal, go, 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 go. You know,
Yeah.
It finally picked up once it leveled out a little bit, but it was a little exciting.
That was something they were telling us about at Daytona this year in the Corvette Corral. That some of the new Corvettes have done that.
Yeah.
You know, they get too much of a slope or too much of an angle, and they think the car is going to roll over, and it shuts the fuel system off, or the ignition, or both.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something we need to know about our own cars and be able to, deal with that. Hopefully, they can be turned off or minimized for track events, and because they could cause somebody to collect you or whatever, or collect somebody. And I've even had my own car a time or two on the public roads do something that totally surprised me. That's when the dog ended up in the front when he was in the back.
Right.
And, and the car decided I didn't have control anymore, and I wasn't very happy about that. But
Yeah, my company cars do that all the time. It's like, it just drives me nuts. I mean, on the highway,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to hit anything. Relax, car.
So why would people want to do this then? What would drive people to do this? Obviously, they love cars. So what other reasons would you think that somebody wants to do something like this?
Well, the biggest thing we said was safety, because it teaches you to be better on the road. And I've had, all my classes I've done over the years, I've talked to people about it, and I said, you'd be surprised how much better, more comfortable, more relaxed you will be on the public roads once you sort of learn this. You learn skills, the eyes up skills, where you see things a mile before they happen.
Right.
On the racetrack, you have to because you're coming so fast.
So fast.
But on the public roads, if you got your eyes up looking way down the road, you see the car's brake lights, you 10 cars up.
Yeah.
You're already braking before the cars in front of you know.
Yeah, right.
And that's one of the big things I think is you're going to learn.
Yes.
And
Well, you're going to learn about your car. You're going to learn about dealing with people in traffic and things, as we've been pointing out. In some of the upper groups, as you progress or whatever, a lot of them will allow you to pass anywhere, which is a lot of fun. And but in the lower groups, they'll have passing zones generally. And
Well, and when you pass, they usually want you to pass on.
Yeah. Point by if you're going on the right.
yeah, different clubs have different rules, but
Yeah.
90% of them tell you to point. So you stick your left arm out the window as the driver, point across the top of the car if you want somebody to pass you on the right, point out to the left. The car behind will pass on the left. That's how you do it in the as beginning groups. And that way the car in front knows the car in the back. You're already communicating with signals.
Yeah.
And makes a safe pass. And that's how we'll graduate up through the system. And when people get better and smoother with all that, then you'll graduate up through the levels of a DE and possibly get up to the highest levels. And some of them, then if you're at the highest level, may not even have passing signals anymore.
Right.
But different clubs do it differently. But that's generally the way we introduce passing.
So if you were telling somebody that they ought to do it sometime, you're encouraging them to learn about safety, but you're encouraging them to learn about their car. You're encouraging them to have fun while you're there.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the whole trip that it's being on the track is fun. It's being there before you run. It's being there after you run and things like that.
Again,
that I really look forward to.
Meeting new people.
Meeting new people, absolutely. Yeah.
Making new friends.
Absolutely. We've made
Generally
several.
that have the same interests that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Everybody's there doing the same thing.
They're doing the same
So it's,
thing.
hey man, I saw you out there. That looked good. What'd you do to your car to get it this fast
Yeah,
or whatever?
right.
And you talk to them about it, and all of a sudden you strike up a conversation for a half an hour. Or,
Yep.
and sometimes, like I said, in the evenings after track goes cold, everybody will sit down. Of course, everybody's beat, so we'll sit down in lawn chairs under canopies and have a drink and talk about everything that's happened all day long. And that's really where you get to groups, different pits will all come together and we'll all sit there. And just
Well, the
talk
other thing
about
we've
it.
seen at some of these is, if somebody's had an issue, like remember one year at Mid Ohio, you had brake lights weren't working for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
They had stopped working on it, and there was a guy with a Honda that we got to know out there, and he ended up giving you some wire so you could wire your. But people help out, is my point.
Oh, yeah.
You helped the guy with the Mustang the last time. He was
Yeah.
having the. What was he had?
The bung came off of the O2 sensor.
Yeah,
Broke
yeah.
off of the
That's right.
exhaust
Wow.
pipe.
Yep.
Wow.
So it was blowing straight out of the manifold, basically.
But you'll generally find these groups of people are willing to help, or they've had that experience, or they've seen something happen, and they're more than willing to jump
Everybody
in and give you a
loans
hand.
their tools, their
Yeah.
jacks, their
Yeah.
boards, or whatever.
It's just, it's really great groups to get involved with. And so if you're looking for something like this involved with your cars, maybe you've done some other things, maybe some tours or whatever. This is another nice outlet to jump into. You get a lot out of your car. You learn a lot. Again, your driving on the road is better. All these things that, that you had that maybe you didn't have before.
It's a hobby.
It is.
Everybody likes hobbies, whether you're a golfer or a hunter or
Yeah.
a car guy or whatever. And this is one way to, I guess, another level or another avenue, I should say, maybe you can
Right.
do as a car hobby, whether your car's in coffee or
Yeah.
road rallies or
Well,
off-road rallies or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and it's not really limited by age. As long as you have a valid driver's license, you can start out very young, or you can be. We ran with some of our local people here that were up into their 80s. So it really, the nice thing is you do have all these walks of life people that are there, whether they're doctors or lawyers, or whether they're engineers, or whether they're mechanics, or somebody. It doesn't really matter. You meet all these people, and they're all there for the same thing, and you're all having a good time. And so it is a pretty broad bunch in a group, that you meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, what we talked about today, we were hoping that maybe some of the things we've given out today, would encourage you to do this. I would encourage to do it, anybody to do it. Hopefully, you would like it. There is there are things involved. There's obviously payment to go to the event, and there's car prep and person prep and things like that you have to go through. But at the end of the day, what you get out of it, I think, well exceeds what you put in it. And but we hope this has been a helpful discussion, and we thank Dan for showing up and jumping
for
in
having
and
me.
being our first lab
thank you
rat.
very
And,
much.
Yes.
Appreciate you
anyway, hope you've
First
had a
in
good
the
time
Halloran
too.
garage, huh?
That's right. Yep.
That's
So
right.
we'll hopefully have Dan back. We're discussing possibly talking to his dad at some point, because he's an old road racer, and so I'd love to do that sometime. But again, we do appreciate it. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe. And if you'd like to comment to us, you can
Email us.
Send
emails.
comments, send questions,
Yeah,
send things
yeah.
to address. Yeah.
Halloran's Garage
At
at
Gmail.
gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. So
Yes, we hit Halloran's Garage on Facebook.
Yes.
And
like and subscribe if you like what you've seen, and we'll be back for another round. Again, thank you very much. This is Halloran's Garage.
yes, thank you very much.
Bye all.